Well, it's a new year. Unfortunately, it's going to be the same me. But nevertheless, I do have plans for 2023, so let's get into those now. Anyways, it's a new year, so I've decided to come up with some goals and plans for 2023 for me to focus on. So these are going to be things I want to work on in the next 12 months, somewhat relating to reading and the channel. So I'm going to break it down into a couple different categories, including reading, writing, art, and then just general channel updates. So at the beginning of 2022, I started getting into reading a whole lot more consistently and more thorough than I ever had before. So I ended up reading countless more books than I had ever had in any year before. I think my final number is 59. That includes some short stories and things like that. It also does include some standalone novellas and things that I didn't add to my Goodreads, but it's around 59. That's close enough. So I didn't really have any plans coming into the year regarding reading or anything. So that's a fairly solid year. But now that I do have those expectations, I do want to plan out what I want to accomplish next year in terms of reading goals. So I think for 2023, my plan is to read 75 books. This may or may not happen because I do want to get into some longer books and longer fantasy series that may take me a while. And in 2022, my numbers were helped a lot by a lot of short classics and short novellas, also some rereads and some various things like that. But also in 2023, I want to get more into fantasy and sci-fi, as I haven't done a whole lot of that yet. I've been focusing more on classics and horror in the past year. So I did recently make a video about 10 fantasy series I want to get into in the near future. Some of those I do plan on getting to in the next year, including Mistborn, Greenbone Saga, The Faithful and the Fallen. We'll see where we go from there. I don't want to get too ahead of myself yet. As far as sci-fi, I want to get into Dune, Sun Eater, Hyperion. But that's not to say I'm not going to read any classics in 2023. In fact, I have a lot more on my plate. Hopefully some really good ones. Some of the more immediate ones I'm planning on reading are Great Expectations, Lonesome Dove, East of Eden, The Furled Arms. I want to get more back into Dostoevsky, obviously. So I probably have my next work from him will probably be either The Idiot or Poor Folk. I don't know. I also want to start getting into Tolstoy. I haven't read anything from him yet, so I'll be starting with some short stories from him, and then either War and Peace or Anna Karenina, either next winter or maybe in 2024. But I do want to get into that as well. And there's more Bradbury. I want to get into more Steinbeck, more Jack London, more of Dickens. I want to get into Thomas Hardy. I want to read Wuthering Heights sometime in the next fall. I just recently bought a hardcover edition of that. So that really takes care of the classics that I'm going to be reading, hopefully. So I also want to be reading more Stephen King work. I read a good chunk of his books in 2022, but I still have a lot to go because the man has a lot of hits. I don't know which ones I'm going to single out yet, to be honest. But ones I do want to read from him are The Stand, Needful Things, Misery, The Green Mile. 11/22/63, obviously. Aside from Stephen King, I do want to read more of modern horror, as I haven't read a lot out of the genre outside of him. So I want to catch up on some Joe Hill, some Nick Cutter, Paul Tremblay, a few others, and then just more contemporary stuff that doesn't really have a defined genre, such as Neil Gaiman, Cormac McCarthy, Dan Simmons, Robert Kamen. So the kind of the books I'm eyeing in the next year or so. I don't have a lot of things set in stone. It's not usually the way I go about reading. I like to keep it more loose and just kind of on a whim. One thing I do want to get more into in the next year is audiobooks and immersive reading. Audiobooks for me are kind of hard to get into because I have a hard time paying attention when I'm just listening to things. In some cases that will work, like I read On the Road by Jack Kerouac, part of it through audio. That was fine because there wasn't much of a plot involved in that book. It was more about the journey. So if I kind of zoned out for a while, I didn't really miss a whole lot in terms of story development. I would like to do some more rereads on audio. I think that'd be a good way to utilize that. I do like to do immersive reading on occasion, where I listen to an audiobook and read at the same time. I do quite like that. I think that helps a lot to keep me focused on what I'm reading. So I'll likely be doing a lot of that as well. So that really takes care of the reading aspect of my plans for 2023. I'm going to go now into some other things that I haven't talked about much on the channel yet. The first of those is going to be writing. I do like to write. I haven't, technically I have published something before, but it was in a very small school publication, so technically it counts, but it's not what one would think of traditionally as being published. So I do want to get some more of my work actually out into the public. I need to figure out what kind of a plan I want to go about with that, so I need to figure that out hopefully in the next year. So that's one main goal. The other main goal is to finish a lot of these short stories that I have started, or ones that I have gotten ideas for. I need to start. I have probably a half dozen of those that I've either gotten into or that I've either written and need to be polished or finished, or ones that I have come up with ideas for but haven't written it yet. So I'd like to get some of those done at least, and maybe submit those to magazines or something. Again, I really don't know what a plan is in that aspect, so I need to figure that out. Those are my two main goals in terms of writing. A third one would maybe be to just cultivate more ideas for a full-length novel. I've gotten a few tidbits of ideas here and there. Once I kind of finish my short story collections, I can work more on the novels that I want to get written. So that'd be kind of a third goal if I get make some progress on the others. And then this last one is going to be kind of a shared goal between a few different areas. It's my website. So maybe I'll just go into that afterwards. So that takes care of the writing aspect though, really. The next category of goals is going to be art and design. So I am a graphic designer. I do like to do graphic art in my free time. I also like to draw in my free time, but I don't really do either of those things a whole lot anymore. So I'd like to get to make some more time to get it back into doing things like that, getting more back into drawing and really refreshing my skills there, because I'm very rusty in terms of my art skills. So I need to get back into drawing. I also want to update my t-shirt shops. So I haven't mentioned this a whole lot, but I do tease it occasionally at the end of videos. I do have t-shirt shops online where I upload and sell t-shirts and mugs and stuff like that on different couple websites such as Redbubble and TeePublic. I do make some money from that, but I'm taking a break from that because I've been wanting to kind of reconfigure how I go about that. If I want to keep doing more just silly t-shirt idea things, or want to do more artistic stuff. It seemed like the more novelty kind of t-shirts would be more popular. But as it has gone along, it hasn't gotten as popular as I would have liked. So if I'm gonna do this, I might as well do something that I want to do. So I've been wanting to do more artistic kind of things on there. But then again, that goes back into having free time to come up and develop those things. So I need to sit down and do some more of that in 2023, get back on track with that. I also want to explore other ideas in terms of passive income or different revenue ideas, such as templates or stock graphics or things like that. So then that last goal, combining the writing and art arenas, is going to be my website. Currently my website is just a portfolio website for my graphic design work. It hasn't gotten me a whole lot of leads or anything, so I want to reconfigure that so it's more of a hybrid between my art and my writing careers. So one of my plans is to move my website to a new provider. Currently I'm using my Adobe portfolio, which comes free with my Adobe subscription, but it's very basic and limited to what you can do with that. So I've been planning to move to Squarespace for a while now, because it offers more options such as blogging and shops and things like that. It's just that the added cost is a bit hard to take on right now, so I've been putting it off for a while. But at some point I do want to make that move so that I can do some more things with my website. So that takes care of that stuff for the most part. The final section here in the video is just the general goals I want to accomplish for the channel in the next year. I don't really have any subscriber or view goals or anything like that, because it just wouldn't happen at the pace we're going right now. So I'm just gonna focus on making better videos and more consistent videos, as opposed to focusing on performance. So basically my main goal is just to keep getting better at being consistent in posting videos and also coming up with ideas, and just being more comfortable on camera than I have been. I think I'm better now than I was at the beginning of April or whatever, but I could still get a whole lot better. I like to kind of upgrade my recording situation. I've got kind of a jerry-rigged camera setup right now. It's very annoying and it's not optimal, so I do want to make some kind of upgrades to that somehow, just to make it easier to actually make the videos, whether that's buying a camera or a stand or lights or a microphone, or really anything would help, to be honest. Then I mentioned I wanted to get back into posting consistently. For most of the year I was pretty good at posting one video a week. Last couple of months I've fallen behind on that. I've just not had as much time to work with, and I've been having kind of a lack of ideas for videos, so I haven't done as much as I had been doing before. And then finally, I want to talk more about writing and design on the channel. As it's mostly just been about books so far. I do want to talk more about my writing progress or ideas or anything on that avenue. I also want to talk more about some art topics. Problem with those topics is that I've always had trouble coming up with ideas for videos about art and design and writing, because I'm not doing a whole lot of either of those in my free time, so there's not a lot of progress that I can update you on. I don't really have any expertise or things like that to offer either, so it's kind of one of those things I was hoping to come up with some more ideas on what to post, but I haven't done that yet. So I want to get into that and spend more time on that in the near future. Okay, so anyways, those are my plans for 2023. This is really the first time I've ever done any kind of yearly goals or plans for anything, let alone on a channel, on a YouTube channel. So we'll see how it goes. I do think I will make an update video sometime in the middle of the year, just to update you on the progress of the goals and things like that, and see how things are going. And then again at the end of the year, kind of the same thing. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, that's all that I have now for today, for this year, maybe, or maybe for the beginning of the year, depending on how long it takes me to get this out there. I don't know. But anyways, that's all I have for now. Thank you for watching, and